Do you remember the first time you met PH?
Yes. Yes. First time I met PH, he battled my nigga Breeze Ever Flowing.
And PH is the one that brought you into Grindtime, right?
Yes, indeed. You know what's crazy, bro? You know what's crazy? This shit, this. I'm about to roll another blunt because you're gonna jerk a tear out of nigga. I almost cried when you talking about my father. Yo, listen. The two niggas that asked me to battle, the two niggas that y'all even really know me, the reason why y'all even really know me, they both gone. Both of my niggas is gone. That's PH and my nigga Bishop Agante. Both of my brothers is gone. PH, okay, I knew PH for years. Like I said, I knew when he battled my nigga Breeze Ever Flowing at Tramps. And since then, I just followed him. I followed all his music. You know, he was one of the king of the undergrounds to me at the time. Like in all the underground circuits, I was hanging at PH name ring heavy bells. Everybody knew who Pumpkinhead was. And excuse me, and then he would do these shows, and then his shows was always, he always tore the shit down, and then he ran with niggas. He used to run with Gene Gray and my man Bad Seed and the Plague. Shout out to the whole Plague.
Right.
And them niggas used to always tear the scene down. Tone Deaf, you know what I mean? My nigga Blitzkrieg, Mecca, you know what I mean? My nigga Wild Child, yo, all these niggas used to go crazy, bro. GMS. And at the time I was with Stronghold. So it was always like little competition, but always a brotherhood at the same time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we was just running. We would just run out. We were just running the underground, bro. So when the Grindtime came around, and PH was the president for Grindtime New York, and I never forget there was a club in Brooklyn named called South Pole at the time. It was like a little venue we used to always perform at and shit. And PH asked me, right? He had a show that night. So at the show, after you perform. Oh, did I perform that night? I might have performed that night. I don't know. But I know after the show, yeah, I did perform that night. After the show, PH came up to me and he was like, yo, Swave, B, yo, I need you to battle for me. And I was like, what? Like, this when Grindtime was still fresh. I knew what it was, but I didn't. Like, I think I heard of it, or I might have seen clips, because at the time, they used to release battles one round at a time.
I remember.
They ain't have the whole battle. They would have the first round, and then you would have to click on another video for the second round, and then you click on another one for the third, right? So there would be time where the first round be the one with all the views, and the second and third round, niggas hardly watch, you know what I mean? So, and I think YouTube wasn't doing more than 15-minute videos at the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they weren't.
You know what I'm talking about. So
yeah,
he was telling me, so it's like I would see like World Star would put like battles on they shit, and that's how I was getting wind of them. Like seeing battles on World Star. Cause at the time, the main thing battling was like 106 in Park, Smack DVDs.
right.
You know what I mean? It was just shit like that where we was getting battles from at this time. Cause at this time, all the battle circuits, I'm not really running around the street battling as much. The battle circuits that we was doing, like Bragging Rights and Hook.com battles and all those shit, Scribble Jam, they not really doing it like that, like right at this point. And it's like you just watching like Fight Club is developing now. Fight Club is doing it as well. You know what I mean? So it's like in that era. So it's like, here this nigga go talking about it's a league online. He trying to explain to me what it is, and he asking me to do it. And I'm like, man, and I'm going to keep it real. Shout out Poison Pen, shout out Ike P. But both of them niggas told me don't do it. Both of them, they don't do that shit. Now, at the time, we also doing music. CVs, me, Ike, and Pro, we had a deal with Subverse, you know what I mean? And I was also doing music with Poison Pen and touring with Immortal Technique and shit going around the world with this nigga. So it was a lot of shit going on that, you know what I mean? We doing fucking Rock the Bell carnivals and shit and paid dudes. We out in fucking Cali with Tech and shit. So Penn was like, nigga, we got wild shit we doing, man. You gonna be doing this battle shit, man. Fuck that. So he was telling me not to. And at the same time with Ike, me, Ike, and Pro, we got the CV shit jumping. We performing all over New York. We got the single out, the jump offs. I can show you that. We had the single out, the jump off and shit. You know what I mean? Shout out to Subverse Records and shit. And we performing all over for that. So Ike is telling me don't do it. You know what I mean? And then I got PH begging me like, yo, my nigga, yo, come on, Swave, yo, please just battle. He wanted me to battle some nigga named Chuck Black. He like, yo, just come on, just battle this nigga one time. Come on, Swave, come on. And I'm like, nah. So PH did some, this nigga did some B-Rabbit shit. He did some, what was my nigga name on 8 Mile? Future? What was Makai name?
Yeah, Future.
He did some Future shit. This nigga signed me up anyway. Type shit. And I was like, yo, why you know what I mean? We and him had a little argument over this shit, but then he was like, yo,
oh
come
shit,
on,
just
Swave.
like 8 Mile, huh?
So it's some real shit. That's word to my mother. He signed me up anyway. We had a little argument over this shit. And then he was like, nah, he really took me off though. But then he was like, nah, for real, nigga, like just do it, please. Come on, my nigga. If you don't fuck with it, you ain't gotta do it no more, my nigga. So I was like, man, whatever. So I just did it. You know what I mean? I went there, I ain't have no real rhyme prepared. I was freestyling. I ain't take it serious. And I wound up beating the nigga. You know what I mean? And I was just like, oh, and everybody was going, I remember everybody going crazy, like, yo, my nigga, you doing the next one? You coming in the next one? Yo, you got to be on the next one. And I was just like, yo, so PH was like, yeah, nigga, you got to do the next one. And I'm like, oh, come on, my nigga. Right? So then the next one came around, and I battled Zim. Right? I battled Zim. And I actually lost this battle, but I was kicking freestyles and mixtape round. I ain't write nothing for the nigga. So, and I took him to overtime. You understand me? So then I was like, yo, so I remember Sevah was there and she was mad I lost, but she was like, yo, you playing. Well, fuck you. She was like, you playing, you ain't prepared for him? I was like, yo, I'm just coming. I wasn't taking shit serious. I'm like, I'm just rapping. Like, this nigga had bars about me. Like, oh, okay, like this nigga called me, I can't remember now, but he had bars, you know what I mean? And he took me to overtime. And my overtime round, I remember kicking like a mixtape verse or some shit that ain't had nothing to do with nothing. And then he kicked another rap on some funny shit, might have called me Shrek or some shit like that, and had niggas laughing, and then they gave it to him, right? And then, you know, so it went to overtime. So I was just like, so a lot. And then when Grindtime used to have this thing that when they used to play the judges' decisions, and still, judges still was like judging for me. And I'm like, I know I ain't really going there with nothing prepared. You know what I mean? So I battled another dude named Armoretto after that. And I freestyled again. I think Nims hosted it. And I went up there, I was high as shit. I was rapping in slow motion. I was high, but I cooked this nigga all 3 rounds, bro. And it was all off the top. Like, I ain't write a word down for that battle. So I remember beating that nigga, and then PH was still mad at me after the battle, even though I won. And I'm like, yo, why you mad at me? He was like, yo, you still playing, bro? Like, come on, can you do one for real? Like, for real, nigga, like, prepare, like, write something for one of these niggas, bro. And I was like, yo, man, I was just like, I was about to quit because this nigga still being mad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing this shit for you. I wasn't even getting paid for these at the time. I'm just doing it because you asking me, nigga. And you mad. I just won. Cook the nigga. You still mad. Like, I'm good, bro. I ain't doing this shit no more. And then at the time, there was this nigga named Jay Focus who was like one of the East Coast top niggas. Nigga was on 106 in Park. He battled Hollow at the time.
Yeah.
And he was making a name. He was like, he had a name back then on the scene. And PA set me to battle him, my next battle. And PH was like, yo, Sway, this is gonna be your test because he not gonna play with you. And he had this thing where he ain't curse and all that. And I ain't gonna front. He was cooking a lot of niggas. And he was like, yo, Swave, if you get cooked by this nigga, you're gonna look like a fool, bro. For real, for real. He be talking wild shit. And Money was talking wild shit about cooking me and all that. So it was just like, all right, I'm gonna write. I'm gonna go home and prepare something for this nigga. And I did. And it was a fucking, I destroyed that nigga. Like, that was like the beginning. That's when I was like, you know what? Let me start writing for these. You know what I mean? That's when I was like, okay, let me stop playing, because I destroyed J Focus. I made him curse and all that. Like,
Wow.
I destroyed that nigga. Like, that was a molly whopper. It was over. And then after that, I started taking it a little serious, started becoming fun to me. And then I just went on a boogeyman rant. I killed everybody. I got the most 3-0s in battle rap. I killed everybody they put in front of me. I was on a run. I went Grindtime, Miami, Cali. I killed Fredo. I went to Miami. I battled High Collide and I battled Knowledge Medina. I was cooking everybody. I battled Sid Vicious, and I was cooking all them niggas.
So how did that feel, that in retrospect at that time though, like you were like, man, I didn't want to listen to PH, but because I listened to him now, I'm traveling to all these places, my name's getting up and everything.
Nah, that's when I started respecting the game though. And that's when I was like, okay, PH, I see what you're doing. I started meeting everybody up. I met Lush One, and I started meeting other league owners. Shout out to my man Cap Callis and Direct. Shout out Direct,
Right.
because he started it all. So let me start with him. Shout out Direct. I started meeting them niggas and really
Matt
seeing the
Ills.
bigger picture. Mad Ills too. And once I started meeting them, I started seeing the big picture, what was really going on. And I was like, oh shit, met Disaster and all them niggas, Thesaurus, and
Right.
oh, wait a minute, nah, this is becoming, this becoming something. Once I started seeing that, I'm like, yo, okay, nah. Oh, they paying for flights and shit? Nah, hold on. And I stuck around. And look at it now. What?